Hey everybody, I'm Bill, the Hill Country Prepper, and I want you to be informed so that you can be prepared. The English theorist and philosopher Bertrand Russell had an anecdote about a farmer and a chicken. Now the way this story goes, farmer had a chicken ranch, and every day he'd go out and he'd feed the chickens. And chickens would come up, knew that he had the feed. He'd feed them, they'd gobble it all up. Now there was this one certain chicken that was always there at the head of the line. Farmer comes out, yay, 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 yum, 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 eating up the feed. As time went on, farmer came out every day, fed the chickens. They just gobbled it up. Now this one chicken started to notice that all the other chickens started to mysteriously disappear. Oh well, here comes the farmer, he's got the feed. Gobble, 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 it's all good, eating it up. Until one day, the farmer comes out, the chicken thinks he's going to get fed, he looks up at him and he goes, hey, where's the feed? The farmer snatches him up, takes a hatchet, chops off his head, and has the chicken for dinner. Now, the chicken was a victim of the normalcy bias. The farmer came and fed him every day, so why should today be any different? The story here is, just because nothing bad has happened in the past, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen today, especially if there are warning signs. Now in this story, the chicken should have been paying attention and wondering why all of his chicken yard mates were disappearing. The chicken probably should have also been asking himself, why is this farmer coming out and feeding me every day? This has to do a little bit with faith. Now, faith is confidence in something. And the chicken had faith that the farmer was going to come out every day and feed her, okay? Now, Sunshine State Survival has some content on this, and she mentioned that she's been told that she didn't have any faith in God because she was a prepper. The opposite is true, and she goes into this quite well. I'll put a link to her video up here, okay? I'm not addressing faith so much in this content as I am the biases. Again, the normalcy bias is not changing your behavior when you have the facts in front of you indicating something is coming, that a change is coming. Now, the opposite of the normalcy bias is overreaction, or the worst case scenario bias. Just because there's bad news in the world, that doesn't mean that the shit isn't about to hit, right? Now, remember when COVID pandemic first came about, everybody went out and bought toilet paper. That's overreaction in its finest. I never quite understood what the rush to buy toilet paper to combat a respiratory illness was about. Now, oftentimes you'll find that the overreaction bias is fueled by what's called the availability bias. The more you hear a story, the more likely you're going to remember it. And because of that, we tend to judge the likelihood of something happening and the significance of that event based upon how easily it comes to mind. And when you hear the same thing over and over, it comes to mind quite easily. Now, this is why the mainstream media keeps repeating that same socialist narrative over and over. It's like the old adage, if you tell a lie enough times, pretty soon it will become the truth. That's the availability bias. What we need to do is to be aware that these biases exist. We need to pay attention to the events that are going on around us, and we need to acknowledge the real possibility of disaster. Once we've done that, we need to look to form some contingency plans. That's what preparedness is all about. Avoid overreacting. Try to have balance in your preps and your preparations. React only to events when and where they come up. Look for gaps in your preps. Fill those gaps as soon as you can. Again, hoarding toilet paper at the beginning of a flu pandemic is not the right reaction. But if you have balance in your preps, you're going to be prepared for whatever comes along, and you're probably not going to have many gaps, right? Protect yourself from the availability bias by turning off the mainstream media. Don't get engulfed by the rhetoric that they're continuing to push out day in day, but do pay attention to the events going on around you. Don't be like the chicken. Pay attention and be prepared. Guys, if you're getting some information out of this video, why don't you press down on that thumbs up and give me a like. And if you're not a subscriber yet, why not? Subscribe right now. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified each and every time I upload some new content, so do that right now. Guys, I want you to be informed so that you can be prepared. Please like and share this video. You have a blessed day. Hill Country Prepper. Thanks.